player gets a red card, it comes with an automatic one-match ban, and at a World Cup that ban can't be appealed. Those are the rules, and they've applied to everyone, all tournament long. Except this weekend they didn't. Because after a phone call from the President of the United States, FIFA did something it has essentially never done before. And now Belgium, European football's governing body, a former FIFA boss, and a long line of ex-players are all lining up to call it a serious mistake. This is the Balogun decision. How it happened, why FIFA says it's allowed, and why so much of the football world thinks it crossed a line it can't uncross. And before we dig in, if you enjoy breakdowns like this one, I'd really appreciate it if you took a quick second to subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel. Alright, let's get into it. First, let's set the stage because the context matters. Folarin Balogun is the United States' leading scorer at this World Cup. 3 goals in the tournament for the co-hosts. He plays his club football for Monaco in France, and at 25, he's become one of the most important players in this USA side. So this isn't a fringe squad member. This is the man the Americans lean on for goals. It all started in the round of 32, the USA's 2-0 win over Bosnia and Herzegovina. In that match, Balogun stepped awkwardly on the right ankle of Bosnia's Tarik Muharemovic. The referee didn't punish it on the field initially. It was only after a VAR review that the red card came out. And right away, opinion split. USA coach Mauricio Pochettino argued it was never a red card offense. Plenty of fans and commentators agreed, saying Balogun was off balance and made accidental contact rather than a deliberate stamp. Others felt the red was justified. That stepping on an opponent's ankle is dangerous, intent or not. Even Balogun himself weighed in later, saying he thought a yellow card would have been the fair call. So the original decision was genuinely debatable. Reasonable people disagreed. But here's the crucial part. Under the tournament rules, that debate was over the moment the card was shown, because a straight red card at the World Cup triggers an automatic one-match suspension, and there is no route to appeal it. FIFA has been crystal clear about this all tournament. The VAR review is treated as the review. Once it's a red, the ban is automatic. Full stop. That meant Balogun was set to miss the USA's round of 16 clash with Belgium, the leading scorer out of the biggest game of their tournament so far. Painful, but by the book. The same book that applied to every other player who saw red across the entire competition. And then the story took a turn nobody saw coming. President Donald Trump personally urged FIFA President Gianni Infantino to review Balogun's case. And after that intervention, FIFA reversed course. Now technically, FIFA didn't erase the red card. What it did was suspend the enforcement of the ban. Citing Article 27 of its disciplinary code, FIFA placed the suspension on a 1-year probationary period, which, in plain terms, means Balogun is free to play against Belgium. The red card officially stands. The punishment for it does not. Trump celebrated the reversal almost immediately, thanking FIFA publicly and framing it as the correction of a great injustice. And that's when the storm truly broke. Let's talk about the backlash, because this is where your title comes from. And it is loud. Belgium's Football Association said it was astonished by the decision. In its statement, it pointed to FIFA's own rulebook, the article that says a red card automatically results in a suspension for the next match, exactly as it had for every other red card all tournament. Belgium argued the reversal directly contradicts both the disciplinary code and the World Cup's own competition regulations, rules that were circulated to every team before the tournament began. Belgium's head coach, Rudi Garcia, was even blunter. He said that when he first heard the news he thought it was a joke, that maybe the World Cup had decided the 5th of July was actually April Fool's Day. And the criticism didn't stop with Belgium. Europe's top football body weighed in. A former FIFA president spoke out. Multiple high-profile ex-players lined up to condemn it. Norway's coach, Ståle Solbakken, called it flatly a big mistake by FIFA, and raised the question everyone's now asking. What happens the next time a player gets a red card? Is there going to be a committee standing by to take it away? What if Balogun scores the goal that knocks Belgium out? How will that result ever be seen cleanly? That's the heart of the outrage. Critics argue that overturning a suspension after direct political intervention undermines the integrity of the tournament and sets a dangerous precedent. Because once a rule bends for one team after a phone call from a head of state, the question becomes, whose call gets answered next time? And whose doesn't? Now, in fairness, let's give FIFA's side of it, because there is one. FIFA maintains its decision was within its own rules. Article 27, the provision it leaned on, does allow its judicial bodies to suspend the implementation of a disciplinary sanction and place a player on probation. And this isn't the first time FIFA has deferred a ban. It happened with Cristiano Ronaldo, who had part of a suspension deferred and was allowed to play at
the start of this World Cup. It happened with Argentina's Nicolas Otamendi and Ecuador's Moises Caicedo, who both had one-game bans deferred for red cards in qualifiers, freeing them up for their World Cup openers. So FIFA can point to precedent for deferring bans. But, and this is the key distinction critics keep hammering, those earlier cases didn't come immediately after a sitting president personally called the FIFA boss. That's the piece that transforms this from a technical disciplinary footnote into a full-blown controversy. It's not just that a ban was suspended, it's why, and after whose intervention. And there's one more thread swirling around this that keeps the questions coming. It recently emerged in a financial disclosure that Infantino had previously given Trump a set of tickets to last year's Club World Cup final, a match Trump attended, and where he joined Infantino on the field for the trophy presentation. Now, there's no direct line drawn between that and this decision, and it would be unfair to assume one. But it's fuel for critics who already worry the relationship between FIFA's leadership and the US president is too cozy, at a tournament the United States is co-hosting. Whether you see all of this as a reasonable use of FIFA's own discretion, or as the integrity of the World Cup bending to political power, probably depends on where you were standing when the whistle blew. But almost nobody is calling it a small deal.
So here's where it lands. Balogun is cleared to face Belgium in Seattle, with the USA chasing its first World Cup quarterfinal since 2002. Belgium has said it's exploring all of its options in response. And FIFA has, whether it intended to or not, opened a door that a lot of people in football desperately wish had stayed shut. Because now everyone knows that door can open.
The USA got their star striker back. But if they win, a chunk of the football world will always put an asterisk next to it. And that, more than the red card itself, is why this decision has become the biggest controversy of the tournament.